Are you worried about the Indianapolis Colts?
No.
Okay. So you're talking about having to clear the bar that is the Jacksonville Jaguars with a shaky at best offensive line. Sorry, I just don't think that it's that far-fetched. And when we look at the worst of first candidates, I mean, you could point out the New York Jets, but they play in a division where they did have 2 playoff teams from a year ago, and the other team is coached by Bill Belichick. You can look at the Denver Broncos. Yeah, they got Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, but the team that is the landlord in the AFC West is the Kansas City Chiefs.
And will be for several years.
And behind them, the LA Chargers. Okay, do you want to look at the AFC North? Okay, I mean, the worst team in the AFC North last year, the Cleveland Browns, yeah, they got Deshaun Watson after he's shaking off the rust, but you got the Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, and Pittsburgh Steelers in front of them. So, I mean, what are we talking about?
Lamar's back, Joe. I mean,
what are we talking about?
Here's what we're talking about. I think it's Fort and Buck clout chasing that trading on our dollar. What do you think, Bub?
I mean, I'm just glad the rivalry is still going between you guys. I
don't know that I would call it a rivalry.
It's not a rivalry. Somebody else has got to win in order for it to be the rivalry.
I don't know.
This has been a one-sided
audition was a pretty good line.
First take audition was
a good line. I'll grant you too. Kane's bringing up some good points too. I think the division is really the strongest point here. I think the Texans very well could do it because of the division. I think it might go Canty here.
I think his line would have landed better if Canty had not already been on First Take several times.
That's a great point too.
It wasn't an audition.
That's a great point too.
Well, it was not an audition.
No.
Here's what it feels like. When someone once told me, if you're going to throw punches, throw them up, not down. And that's what it felt like there.
Do you think he could reach? I mean, I know you're not into the fight game like Max Kellerman, but do you think Fortenbach could even reach?
I don't know.
Maybe we'd have to get him an apple box.
I don't know.
His arms are a little stubby there. I don't know.
Stick to picking the games, Joe.
Wednesday on Fitz and Harry, the Lakers steal Game 1 for the Warriors, and home court belongs to L.A.
Plus, will one team's boring draft help lead them to a Super Bowl?
Oh, tell me more. Fitz and Harry, Wednesday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
When it comes to scoring great hires for your business, you may be up against a few obstacles, especially right now. That's why you need ZipRecruiter on your team. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology hustles for you to find people with the right skills and experience for your job and invites them to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So win the hiring game with ZipRecruiter. To try ZipRecruiter for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Is your check engine light on? The free Fix Finder service reads your check engine, ABS, and maintenance lights. It even sends a detailed report directly to your email. When you need to get back on the road, AutoZone's free Fix Finder service is here. Get the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. Only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking...
Oh, he got all of that one.
The Inside Drive. Ryan Mulvey, middays, 11 to 1 inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. The latest reactions to the biggest stories happening right now. Plus, interviews, sports betting, and your calls.
You gotta be pleased with that.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Afternoon weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures near 80, and looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Mostly clear overnight, 55 to 60 for the low with light winds. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny, highs around 80. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Are you ready for Panama City's best pizza? Then check out the new Guru's Pizza 786. They don't do just the best pizza. They also serve wings, traditional and boneless, pasta, calzone, salad, sandwiches, and more. Guru's Pizza 786 has 50-plus Indian and Italian pizza varieties. They're open Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. until midnight, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 11 a.m. until 3 a.m. Takeout and delivery are available. Guru's Pizza 786, 7806 Front Beach Road. Call 850-588-5055.
Gulf Coast Aquarium is now Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet. They have a full line of live reptiles and reptile supplies, including the area's largest supplier of ZooMed products. ZooMed, a family-owned business with over 45 years of U.S.-based manufacturing. ZooMed is #1 in reptile products worldwide and is now available at Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet, 469 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
This Mother's Day, think Western wear for that special mom. And when you think Western wear, you know where to shop. That Boot Store. That Boot Store. You'll find a huge selection of Western outfits for the young to not so young mama. No need to shop anywhere else. That Boot Store. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. That Boot Store. Next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street, Panama City.
Hello, this is Rick Boston with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer. We are located on 2241 East Baldwin Road, Panama City. Shopping for an 8-foot to 16-foot in width or 10-foot to 60-foot in length. Cabin, garage, portable building, whatever the needs are. Remember, at Stormore, we can insulate our buildings. We can put electric on, thermal windows, transom dormers. There's so much we can do. Stormore Portable Buildings, 2241 East Baldwin Road.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
After spending years in foster care, Lexi worried that she and her brother were too old to be adopted. Thankfully, the siblings were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
I love teenagers. To see how brave Lexi was and how she opened herself up to being in a family, all of a sudden, she's holding my hand and calling me Mom. It was really special.
Every child, no matter their age, deserves to grow up in a safe, permanent home.
Children at every age experience challenges. Teenagers are more complex than young children, but in the best ways.
You're never too old for family. Learn how you can help children still waiting to be adopted from foster care at davethomasfoundation.org.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Base hit. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
Tonight, it's another big National League East showdown for the Braves as they take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park.
Coverage starts at 5:40 on your home for the Atlanta Braves, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Welcome to the time for the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida. Opinionated and unfiltered. The hot takes, the rants, and the sports talk you crave.
Give it to me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and that is official. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City, 102.1 in Marietta, and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. And if you can't tell, you should know by now. We are out here at Pier Park. We're at Dave and Buster's on the patio.
Welcome to Thunder Beach Week, guys.
Yeah, it is Thunder Beach. For real, man. You can hear the rumbling and the tumbling. Can you hear me at all over there, Drew? I tried to get the speaker set up to where we could hear each other.
I'm deaf as is, so.
Yeah, that is so true. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Kyle Wright, Drew Gorman, and the assistant general manager out here at Dave & Buster's, Amanda Muller. And we have to give a big shout out to our wonderful server of the afternoon, Jennifer, who's been taking great care of us. If you guys come out here to Dave Dave & Buster's. Make sure you request Jennifer. She will take amazing care of you. All right, let's get into it, man. It's been 2 weeks since we've had Kyle. It's been a week since we've been out here, or 2 weeks essentially since we've been out here at Dave & Buster's. I wasn't feeling the greatest last week, so Amanda let me off the hook. But we've got Kyle back. We've got the whole band back together.
Yeah.
And Kyle, tell me why you decided to miss last Wednesday.
Well, I needed the work day because...
No, let's not talk about the real things.
The real things. Okay, gotcha. No, I took my wife to see Taylor Swift last Sunday, and it was...
You mean Rachel took you to...
Rachel took me to see Taylor Swift last Sunday, and it was an incredible time. And I have some funny stuff to tell you guys about that concert off the air.
No.
Off the air.
We got to talk about at least some of the fun stuff on the air.
You just teased everyone.
Yeah, we can't leave the
and then
listeners
said
in
off
the dark.
Off the air.
You can't be doing that.
Off the air.
I hate it here.
All right, well, what are some of the things that you could talk about on the air? Let's start with your face paint. How did you enjoy that?
It was awesome, man. So I had this idea of, my wife wanted me to do something with her, like some kind of like tattoo or something. I'm like, well, okay, listen, that's probably where I draw the line, babe. And then I started looking at ideas online, and guys were doing like the baseball eye paint under their eyes. So I said, all right, so here's what I'll do for you. I'll do the baseball war paint under my eyes, and then we'll put a butterfly tattoo at the end of one of them. So I put like the purple eyeshadow thing under my eyes, and put a little butterfly tattoo on my face, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Taylor Swift puts on a great show, by the way.
I heard it was like a really awesome performance, like a show, a whole entertainment thing.
It was wild. She did 44 songs, which is unbelievable. She did a 10-minute version of one of her songs, and she was on stage for 3.5 hours, dude. Yeah.
No.
Sorry, that's another bike, by the way.
No, man, and the whole reason we're bringing all of this up is Kyle's got his new makeup business getting started here soon. No, I'm just kidding.
Sir, right on your face.
No.
Yeah, we could probably open like a face painting studio over at the softball.
That does work.
There you go. Yeah, face paint in studio from now on at certain tournaments and whatnot. But yeah, what a fun time for Kyle, and glad to be back out here at the patio Dave & Buster's. And with that, so you thought of something pretty cool here. So kind of explain what you want to do to open up this segment.
So full disclosure, this was my idea for if I got to be here last week, and we're going to run it anyway. So I took 5 Taylor Swift songs, and I kind of put them as sports-related questions, right?
Right.
So the first song is called Cruel Summer. It's and I'll even go as far to tell you guys that it's from the Lover era.
What does that mean?
And I have no idea. Like, she has like different albums, and I guess they call them eras, and it's from her Lover album. And the song is called Cruel Summer. So I figured, let's look at all the first place teams in baseball right now. Summer's about to heat up. We're fixing to head into May, June, July, and you guys know this is where the good teams start to show that they're good, and the bad teams start to show that they're bad. So what first place team in baseball right now is going to have themselves a very cruel summer?
All right, who wants to start it off? I can lead us off if we want to. I've got 2 teams in mind, but I'm going to go with the American League Central Division leader right now.
That's where I went.
In the Minnesota Twins. I think there's a long season. I just don't trust any Central team. So that's fair. I think that's the bigger
reasoning. I trust some more than others, and the Twins is what I wrote down, because, I just looked at that and I was like, volatile, not happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Guardians end up coming away with that, but maybe the new jerseys for the Minnesota Twins have been that force behind them for the record of 17-13 to this point in the season. And they're also playing very well at the house, 10-6. You look at a team like the Atlanta Braves right now. What are they, 7-7 at the house, and then on the road though, 13-3. So what about for you, Drew? Who is your cruel summer team?
Wearing an Astros jersey here, it's definitely the Rangers.
You got 2 teams above you in the West,
but that's all depending on how the Angels play today. They could be right below us because I think we have the series tiebreaker as of right now. But I just don't see the Rangers being able to sustain what they're doing right now. They are playing some great ball. Don't get me wrong, but we've seen streakiness from Seager. We've seen streakiness from DeGrom's there. So we've seen streakiness from them, but are they able to sustain it over the summer? And I don't think they're capable of doing that.
All right. What about for you, Kyle?
So you guys both went with the Twins, which is crazy because I thought we all avoided the Pirates because it was too obvious, but nobody said them. So honorable mention definitely but definitely Pittsburgh Pirates.
I liked him in the Central though.
So to win though, like I know that it's been hot
with
this
the
year.
way that I know you're a Cubby, but with the way that the Central is so
bad. You can say
bad.
bad. Yeah,
It's both sides. Both sides
Yeah,
of the
American
Central,
League,
American
National League,
and
both
National.
sides.
So I mean, it's very winnable. And if they're playing like this without O'Neal Cruz,
yeah,
sign me up.
No, that's fair.
Pirates baseball is back, baby.
I was on I don't want to call it the bandwagon, but it is becoming a bandwagon. I said that I wouldn't be surprised for the Pittsburgh Pirates to finish third in the Central ahead of the season, and people were laughing at me. And I'm like, well, it's the mixture of veterans and youth that I really like over there. Couldn't even tell you very much at all about the pitching staff, but with the mixture of the vets and the youth that they possess there, it's like, yeah, there's something interesting. But it's still the Pittsburgh Pirates, so that's why I don't think that they're going to be on top of the NL Central by the end of the year. The lineup, the offensive side for the St. Louis Cardinals will explode. It will get to where it needs to get to at one point in time, and that's where the Cardinals will move their way up into the top two of the Central, and then the pitching staff for the Brewers is going to be their reasoning.
Absolutely, and I guess I'll just ask you out loud. Will you hand me my phone over there because I have to double check something before we get going? No, so I'm going to kind of play villain here, as I often do here on this radio show, and I'm going to go ahead and say the Atlanta Braves right now. And a lot of this has to do with, number one, the National League East is a lot better than it's come out the gate. Right, you've got Philadelphia has kind of been underperforming a little bit. Drew's over here smacking a little mini glizzy.
That's what we got breaks for.
Dog.
You got 2 minutes in between our talking times to eat.
I weigh 300 pounds, and I've got a plate of really good-looking wings sitting in front of me, and I have the discipline to not eat them.
I'm far enough away from the mic, and I wasn't talking.
I'm not chewing.
And I'm not like Miles. I don't chew while I talk.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair. But no, for sure, man. I think the Braves are I think they've got an opportunity, but they've got a lot of teams that are waiting on opportunity behind them for the Braves to slip. And the Braves have been really, really fortunate to have such a bad schedule out the gate. And I know that's not their fault, right? None of that's their fault, but they've only played, I think, they've played the Marlins twice now, who the Marlins are barely sitting over 500. They are over 500.
They're right there with the Mets.
They've played
early in the year.
They dropped 3 out of 4 to San Diego and Atlanta. Then swept
by Houston.
And then they got swept. They got swept by Houston and Atlanta. And they haven't, if it's not Max Fried or Spencer Strider, the starting pitching has been rocky.
Bryce Elder.
Okay, Bryce Elder's he's been up and down. I think
3-0 with a 1.75 ERA.
Okay, that's fair enough. But the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves has been absolutely terrible.
Not as good as what we've been used to. No doubt.
What was it?
But you would love that bullpen over there in Cincinnati, wouldn't you?
We have the 13th best bullpen in baseball.
Really?
Apparently so.
That is a wild statistic.
I haven't seen it, but
when you look at the games that they've cost.
What was the stat that you gave me the other week about the Astros-Braves series?
Where the Braves were leading for 20 out of the 27 innings that they played, and they still got swept.
Wow. That's just insane.
20 out of 27.
20 out of 27.
That was the Reds and Braves series. We were leading
100%.
Yeah, 19 out of the 27 innings that the Reds and Braves played.
Baseball's a crazy sport,
right?
Fellas.
And
really
it is. And what's that quality or that factor? That it kind of separates the good teams from the bad teams. Is those like the Houston Astros in that sense? It makes the Braves look like a bad team, and the Astros are a good team. But you got to win those games. Like the Tampa Bay Rays, they haven't had the toughest schedule to an extent. But look at the ball that they're playing, and it's consistent, and it's kind of through all 3 phases of the game for the Rays. Whereas with every other team, you can pick something out, be it the starting pitch and the bullpen or the lineup, and be like, that is your falter, or that's your fault. Not your fault, but you know what I mean. That's what's that's your downfall. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I do think the Braves are a good team, and this is not me saying they're not. I just think that they've been they've played the Marlins. They're about to play the Marlins for the 5th time tonight. They still haven't had to face Sandy Alcantara. They played
them last night.
Did he pitch last night?
Yeah, he got rocked last night.
Okay, well, he's gonna go.
He's 1-4.
Calm down.
I think
you need to calm down. Is that what you're saying?
Is that a Taylor Swift song? Well, there you go.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I love it. Let's move to the next Taylor Swift song.
We're gonna go to "Tolerate It." This is off the Evermore era.
Give me a little sample of this. I don't know if I've heard this.
I'm not. We're not gonna do that. But
I've heard one of these before.
I mean, there was a beach ball on the.
There was a
radio.
There was a beach.
But I've definitely
No, just look up the song if you guys want to hear it at all.
right.
But this is a player for your team, past or present, that maybe everybody else has liked, or maybe they have it, that you can't really stand. And this doesn't necessarily mean you don't want this player on your team. Maybe this is a player with talent that you just don't see the hype in. Maybe it's a player with no talent that you want gone.
Maybe it's a problem with off-the-field issues.
Maybe it's a problem with off-the-field issues. Maybe it's a problem. Maybe it's a problem with ego. You know what I mean? So I'll start here, and I'll kind of blow everybody's minds, and I'll go Hunter Green. I don't get I haven't seen anything except for Hunter Green throwing the ball hard that makes me think that this dude is the next great pitcher in Major League Baseball.
No way.
He's still young. Give him time.
This is not me saying I don't want him on the team, but the thing that Hunter Green is, he's had 6 starts this year, has yet to produce a quality start. And the problem that I have with Hunter Green is that he's one of those players that we've talked about, like Ronald Acuna and so many other guys, that when things are going great, things are good, man. But as soon as something turns sour, these dudes, their attitude shifts and they're terrible. So Hunter Green's last start against Oakland, the mound was kind of messed up, and he let it get in his head, and he had 112 pitches in 5 innings.
Wow.
And that's horrible.
He hasn't had a quality start to this point, has
he? Hasn't. Not to my knowledge, at least. He may have had. He did have one in Atlanta. He had one quality start in Atlanta.
Oh, that was when he was going up against Spencer Strider.
It was with him and Spencer Strider. But that's it. One quality start up to this point, and you didn't even get the win.
And it makes sense. I like it.
So, for my tolerate it, I had Brandon Browner. He was a cornerback for the New Orleans Saints a couple years back.
I remember
back
Browner.
our 7 and 9 years.
Welcome back, by the way.
It just seemed like everything he did was a penalty. Every time it was a third down, you could 9 times out of 10 it was bam. Okay, pass interference, flag, pass interference, Brandon Browner. And you knew his number. My wife was watching games and knew his number, knew it was Brandon Browner just by the umpire just by the ref saying his name,
or just by your reaction. Sometimes.
And it was just every time. You didn't even have to wait for the ref to throw the flag. You knew it was coming. And we signed him after his Seattle Seahawks days, where he was a part of the Legion of Boom, the third cornerback with them, was really good up there. Signed him to a big contract. Came out, did nothing. Same, another name I'll throw out there from past was Jarris Byrd. Signed him out of free agency, big contract. Was supposed to be the best. Was supposed to be the best safety. You know me, I ramble. Was supposed to be the best safety that year in free agency. Came out, did nothing.
What about for you, Amanda? Who's your tolerated?
All right, I might ruffle feathers on this one. And I had to go way back. Every single time that I thought about this in more of a new era sense, I couldn't think of anyone better than Dennis Rodman. As a Bulls fan way back in the day and everything, he made headlines for all the wrong reasons. And I just remember everyone was so up in arms and he was causing bad press for the team and all that stuff. So, yeah, I went with Dennis Rodman on the Bulls.
Dennis Rodman on the Bulls. That's a really good one.
I think I like that take a lot, actually.
And for me, I'm going to start with the future. It hasn't even happened yet, but I'm going to go with Will Levis.
Will Levis.
He's the guy that I'm going to.
Hating too much. You can't even.
It's not hating necessarily. It's just putting my perspective out on it at this point in time. I do root for the guy. He's a Titan. He's a Tennessee Titan. It's Thunder Beach out here, ladies and gentlemen. We are live out at Pier Park, Dave & Buster's. But for the future side of things, it's going to be Will Levis. That is, I'm going to root for him. I'm going to tolerate it. I just don't see how well that's going to end up working out. And then my realistic current one right now is going to be Marcell Ozuna hitting 111, which, hey, is up. He was down to .091 as his batting average. They were going to change it from, you got the Mendoza line at 200. Well, they were going to start calling, if you're hitting 100 or below, the Ozuna line at that point in time. So for me, Marcell Ozuna is a guy, especially with all the off-the-field issues and then just can't get the bat going, not a good left fielder at all. He's a guy on the Atlanta Braves that I tolerate it.
My only thing about Will Levis, and we can get into it more later, is that hopefully they're doing the thing that the Packers did for 31 years of my life, and they're just lining him up behind Tannehill, take a few years of experience, get used to us, and then go out. Not like a lot of people are doing, which worked out for Lawrence, but, like Trevor Lawrence being a brand new guy going in starting. I don't know if I feel that. So maybe that's what they're doing. Ye of little faith.
Ye of little faith. Well, I'll take the little faith at this point in time, no doubt about it. Let's go to number 3, Kyle. What do we have here?
Hey, obviously, You Belong With Me, right? Everyone knows this song. Everyone loves this one. It's an old school song. So a player...
It's the only one I know.
Yeah. This is a player that's out there right now, and this could be any team. This could be any league that you want, that you would like to see on your team. And, maybe if you got a second, build a little trade package.
All right, so who's going to start this one off?
I will.
All right, go ahead, Amanda.
Only because he was recently traded, so I feel like I would have had a shot.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift.
Such a good fit for Justin Fields and the Bears. I know it's in conference and everything, but he is just
They could have just traded straight up Montgomery for Swift at that point, right?
We could have, right? Like, we could have had that opportunity. So to see that he's gone, and, of course, where he went, I'm just like, go Georgia Eagles. I think he would have been such a great fit for my team and the way we have our offense structured and everything. Yeah, DeAndre Swift.
For me, I'm actually going to go to the collegiate ranks for my team, so I can't really trade, but
you can't do that.
I'll wait for him to transfer because all FSU players transfer. So
it's South Carolina players transferring to Florida State.
I'm actually going to go with a relief pitcher, Wyatt Crowell. He has a 3-0 record with a .87 ERA in 20 innings pitched, 33 Ks with 11 base on balls. If you look at the number 1 ranked LSU Tigers in the collegiate ranks, our biggest weakness is relief pitching. We need a guy out of the pen that is going to come in, shut it down, and be able to take care of business. So that is my vote. Let's roll with it.
All right. For me, this one's not a very great one at all, but for the Indiana Pacers, I would like to see PG-13 come back. Paul George, why not? I mean, we're not doing anything anyways. He's barely healthy, but I think one good reunion. So there's no substance there. It's just, man, watching Paul George break his leg and kind of the comeback that he's tried to make, but he's never really been the same player. Was off to a great start this year. Not a lot of people talking about it, but to see Paul George and maybe Tyrese Halliburton team up over there in Indiana, that could be very interesting. My realistic one for the Tennessee Titans, I think that I know we need a stud wide receiver. We drafted one in the 7th round, but is that guy going to work out? He was there, right? But no, it's not A.J. Brown. I don't necessarily want him back, but give me the best or who I perceive as of right now to be the best receiver in the league, and it's close, right? You've got 3 or 4 different guys that could be up there, maybe 5 or 6 to be honest, but I like Justin Jefferson out of Minnesota. I think you bring him in and you get a guy that can make any catch on the field. It just makes your quarterback that much better, and Will Levis is going to need someone like that.
I like that. So I'm going to start with the Cincinnati Reds here. I'm going to say that, the Reds have 2 big needs this offseason. They need one more good starting pitcher, and they need a power-hitting outfielder. Well, there is a guy who might be coming available via trade talks coming up here on the deadline that has said he wants to play for a storied baseball franchise. Right,
heading to the Yankees. Let's go.
Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani to the Cincinnati Reds for a second.
He does both.
And I want to talk about this just because the Reds are the oldest franchise in baseball, and they have the farm to make this trade possible.
That is fair.
So I think Shohei coming to the Reds and filling those 2 spots that we need one of each of, and that's exactly what we need. We need a little power in the lineup. We need one more good starting pitcher. And, so that's my outlandish one. And I say my realistic one is David and I we've talked about this like broken records for 2 years, like on the air, off the air. The Dolphins are missing a powerful running back coming out of the backfield. They have so much speed, but they're missing a dude that can break the first and second line of tackles. And that's why I think Dalvin Cook to Miami just makes so much sense.
He would kill it there.
He's from Miami. He wouldn't have to be the key focal point of the offense, but he would absolutely snap in that defense or in that offense. He wouldn't. It just makes too much sense, man.
When teams are game planning, we talked about this before today's show, when teams are game planning for the Miami Dolphins, right? It's quick slants. It's you're focused on Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the wide receiving core. You're not as worried about a Raheem Mostert or Jeff Wilson. You add Dalvin Cook to that mix, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we can't just put all of our focus, not all of our game planning can go for the wide receivers, for the passing game. We have to be aware of not just Dalvin Cook, but then you rattle off the others after Dalvin Cook, and it's like, wow, man, that's a tough team to game plan for.
No, absolutely. And you go back to what Dalvin Cook's comfortable with if you're running RPOs with Tua, which Tua's obviously comfortable with, and Dalvin Cook just runs the ball a lot better out of the shotgun as well. So.
Hey, as long as that man is getting his white belt or whatever belt he's getting from judo and is learning how to fall, that is all that we can ask for. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick time out, and when we return, we're going to get back into our GOAT of GOATs behind-the-scenes discussion. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the Afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Afternoon weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures near 80, and looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Mostly clear overnight, 55 to 60 for the low with light winds. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny, highs around 80. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
It's go time all the time. Sports talk around the clock.
Oh my gosh!
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. We're out here at Dave & Buster's live on the patio. We've got a great crew with you. I'm David Hayes along with Kyle Wright, Drew Gorman, Amanda Muller, the assistant general manager out here at Dave & Buster's.
Hey.
And we also got my dad. Amanda, tell us what's so special about Wednesdays here at Dave & Buster's?
Wednesdays is our infamous half-price game day. That means all of our games all day are half-price, so you can spend twice as much money and have fun with me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've got great games, man. Y'all come hang out, as well as happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. Half-price drinks, half-price appetizers, right?
No half-price appetizers, but
no half-price appetizers.
Drinks
I was trying for you guys.
Of draft beer. But yeah, the half-price cocktails is really where it's at.
Half-price cocktails, man. Right up here, Dave & Buster's, and it is Thunder Beach out here right now, so it's a great time to come and hang out. Let's finish up before we get into our Go-to-Goats behind-the-scenes discussion. Let's finish up with our Taylor Swift segment, which wasn't supposed to take a whole segment, but
it did.
It's fun.
It was a good idea, right? It was fun. By the way, I feel like since I was completely nerding out, You Belong With Me was off the Fearless era.
I didn't even know all this. This is crazy.
Yeah, no.
Shake It Off? I think I know that one too.
Shake It Off, yeah, absolutely. You should know Shake It Off. It's from 1989. And let's
that's the year she was born. That's the album, right?
Yeah, that's the album.
I got you. He was confused. He's like, wait a minute.
I didn't even know she's been singing that long.
I was confused too because I was like, that's recent, right?
The 1989 era, if you will. So Shake it off. The idea I had for this was take. Maybe stay with the NFL unless you have a non-NFL team. That's fine. A team that had the talent maybe last year, but maybe underperformed a little bit. A team with the ability to shake it off and get back on their feet going into this year.
Well, you could easily put Alabama in there, right?
You could. No, absolutely.
I think I'm easily going with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
easily.
I like that.
Easily? Yes.
How
we
many
were way better than
Is
3 wins.
is Sweetness walking through them doors?
Absolutely. Yes, he is. We have way more talent than those 3 wins. We had a few very close losses. This year's going to blow it out of the water. I can't wait. I'll take my 6 over 3. It's fine.
You need a quarterback that's going to throw the ball and not just run, or an offensive coordinator that's going to allow him to throw the ball.
I have confidence, even if you don't.
Well, I'm going to probably get the same reaction whenever I say what I got, and it's the Denver Broncos.
Oh, that's a great one.
Because in Russ, we trust.
Do you really trust in Russ? Who do you trust more?
Sean Payton to fix Russ.
Okay, that's a fair point. Who do you trust more, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields?
Russell Wilson, because he's been there, done it before, so it shouldn't take long for him to figure it back out, per se. And with a head coach that is halfway competent, unlike Nathaniel Hackett was last year, I think it could be exciting.
I wonder how much it hurt Nathaniel Hackett's tenure, his singular season there, almost coming in. Like, normally when you get it's your first head coaching gig, you don't have a superstar quarterback, right? So you're not reliant on that guy. Then when Russell Wilson is your guy, he's your QB1 and it's your first head coaching job, you're like, well, I can learn some from Russell Wilson. I wonder how much that hurt his job there. And then with Sean Payton, that it'll definitely be interesting. I'm with you guys to this point. I'll trust Russell Wilson more, but I'm really excited for this year with Justin Fields, just to see, will there be progression? Will it be the same type year as last year? Because the same type year as last year is going to get you 3 to 4 wins.
Right.
But if he progresses, you're looking at 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, especially. What are the Packers? We don't know, but they're probably not going to be as good as they were last year, and last year they weren't very good.
Right.
So they're going to be down. Minnesota, will they be the same team? Did they fix the defense? I don't know. Detroit's the most fun team to watch there. So the Bears do have a lot of room to grow there. They're like a shark. Instead of being in an aquarium, it's like a shark in the open sea.
The Lions really had a chance to be like just violent attackers this offseason. I really felt like they took quite a few steps back, trading off Jeff Okudah, now trading off DeAndre Swift, letting Deshaun Elliott walk. I didn't love the Lions offseason. For me, I went with the Washington Commanders, and I want to, I know there's a big cloud over this team right now with the whole Snyder situation, but just think about the talent that this team actually has when you start to really line it up, especially on that defensive line with your Montez Sweat, your Chase Young, and you've got your guys on the offensive side of the ball, your Scary Terry McLaurin, right? And you've got Antonio Gibson. You've got just so many playmakers, and now you add Eric
McKissick.
Yeah, J.D. McKissick, and now you add Eric Bieniemy coming in to be the offensive coordinator for Ron Rivera's Commanders, and potentially, maybe even a head coach in waiting type situation, depending on what happens with Ron Rivera's
Jimbo
health.
Fisher, Bobby
He
Bowden
should
type
be. I
deal.
mean, he's got head coach written all over him.
He does, and now you take.
He obviously doesn't.
Well, maybe not.
That stuff we probably don't know.
Yeah.
Dirty laundry about because he does.
Or is it him being in the shadow of Andy Reid? Like, there's so many things, but there's no transparency there. So I would hope that he's got head coach, or I guess he does have it written all over him, but no one's used
when
it
nobody
yet.
went for it, I was very, very surprised. So I'm glad that they got him where they did. But
and Kyle, I was gonna write the Commanders. I love their team. I love their makeup, except for the quarterback position.
Kyle's makeup's
do we
better.
trust?
Thank you.
What'd you say?
Kyle's makeup's better.
I was going to say it's the butterfly. Right?
Do we trust Sam Howell?
Yes, I think so moving forward. You look at the last couple of games last year, the dude's a gunslinger. The dude can move with his feet. You give him an offensive coordinator that'll use him correctly. I think Sam Howell is going to be a lot better than people think.
Better than Heineke?
Who was the last gunslinger?
Never gotten
who was
rid
the
of.
last gunslinger to win? Like 98 with Brett Favre?
Why do we have to bring up the Packers?
No, that was 96.
I didn't say that they were going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying
they're better than what they were last year.
They are a lot better than they were last year.
No, I'd take Heineke over Howell any day.
better than last year, 8-9, and last in the division?
I think they can go. I think they win 10 games
in the NFC
with a last place schedule.
I mean, I'll take Fields over Howell all day.
It was kind of hatred, but still, whatever.
It was like a backhanded compliment.
It was a backhand. It was definitely backhanded.
Who's your team? Did we do yours yet?
Broncos.
Okay, mine.
In Russ, we trust.
Hold on, my dad's got something to say. I want to hear what my dad's got to say. Go ahead.
I just want to ask Kyle maybe a simple question. I'm not sure, but when you're talking about shake it off, are we going to allow a basement team to shake it off and get one more win than they did last year?
That's why I chose the Bears.
I think we're shaking it off. We're one win better. Are we wanting to pick a team that can actually rise above one or two more teams above them? My team would be the Houston Texans. Not that I'm a fan. I'm a Titan fan.
No.
You had me, and then you lost me.
My thing, as I just perused the whole NFL, I'm thinking the Texans are putting together something, and they're rock bottom. And it just makes me wonder if these guys aren't going to be able to do a little bit more, at least better than the Colts probably. I don't think they'll take the division, but I think they have a shot at it.
If we're going that route, I'm going with the Colorado Buffaloes, y'all.
I was honestly surprised no one said the Jets because, the New York Packers look good.
Nah.
Yeah.
New York.
I think they're just the Packers of the East Coast, to be honest. But I think
just picked up Randall Cobb too. Like
that's it. They're in the Super Bowl. Lock it in.
Look for years.
I mean,
saying, I need more weapons. I need more weapons.
He was with the Green Bay last year.
Bring my friends.
I thought the Jets were the easy answer, so I left it alone.
Yeah.
Nobody said them, so now I have to. The Jets.
For me, I think it's going to be. The Rams did a good job in the fourth round, bringing in a mentor for Matthew Stafford and Stetson Bennett. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think that they're better than what they were last year. Healthy Stafford makes them better, and I think that could, they're going to be back battling with the San Francisco 49ers.
But still,
I like
when the
Texans.
Eagles didn't take Stetson Bennett, they were like, oh, man.
I like the Texans to double their win total, if you will, last year, but that only goes up to 4 wins, and I like the Colts to be better than what they were last year or around the same area. The Titans maybe drop a couple of games, but that's still more than 4 wins, so I still see the Houston Texans being at the bottom, and we have no idea. You talk about Will Levis with the Titans. We have no idea what C.J. Stroud, what was the last Ohio State quarterback, that actually played there at Ohio State that worked out in the league?
Justin Fields.
Okay, but it's working out. You know what I mean? It hasn't. I think that he took a big enough step last year where it's like, all right, he's got something.
But he still has just as many question marks as he does answers right now. Justin Fields. I mean, but and to answer your question, Mr. Hayes, I do think that going from 8 and 9 to 10 and 7 in the best division in football would be shaking it off.
And especially with this way, I can get behind that because if they do move up if they move up a position at all, so say they finish third in the NFC East, then with Sam Howell, you went from last year having Carson Wentz, Heineke, and Sam Howell, so now you're entrusting a very young quarterback, and then you bring in Eric Bieniemy. I would say that is shaking it off in a sense. If they are better, though, that's where my question kind of comes in is I don't think that they're going to be better, though, next year. I think it's going to be very, very tough in the NFC East.
All right.
And the fifth and final one.
Let's go Don't Blame Me from the Reputation era.
Wait, did you get yours in here?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the whole thing that we were having the discussion about.
Does she not have albums? She has eras?
It's just eras.
Okay, cool.
We're going Don't Blame Me from Reputation, and I want to know, like, an athlete that might catch just a little bit too much hate in the sports world. And I think we have the same one, Drew. I peeked at your paper. So
yeah, I mean, on the way over here, I was thinking about it, and I just started thinking, and the first name that popped in my head was LeBron. Like, especially
he gets all the hate he deserves.
Especially with the way that this season in general has turned out. He's been able to turn it around. Everybody thought he was going to L.A. to just go retire. No, that man's a businessman, and he's putting things together, and the way that they were able to construct a team mid-season to put things in place to where they could still succeed, make it to the playoffs, make it through the play-ins, and now they've got a shot at going to the Western Conference Finals, and with LeBron and AD finally playing together 40-plus minutes, and they're not expecting LeBron to be the go-to guy. They're team by committee. Like, this has just been a crazy roller coaster for a guy who has no off-the-field antics, no off-the-field problems. All he does is show up, puts his best foot forward, tries to do the best he can to help the team, and go from there. In an era where everybody has an opinion and everybody's entitled to their opinion, I think he catches a little too much of that flack.
I agree with that, and since we have the same answer, I'm just going to keep going on that for a second with LeBron. Look at the Memphis Grizzlies. Look at what that man single-handedly just did to Dylan Brooks' career. And
funny.
Just because Dylan Brooks came out talking so much in LeBron, I can't say exactly what I'm thinking on the air, but he defecated on him. Okay, he made.
I think that's actually better than the word that you intended to use.
Yeah, but
because it sounds more intelligent than what you're saying anyway.
He just he embarrassed that man. That man's not going to get signed by anybody. His career might be done. He'll never be the same player. And now you look at what LeBron does off the court. You don't hear anything bad about LeBron if it's not political. The man donates to his community. The man's keeping kids off the street. The man's building educations. He gets way.
I don't know if Dylan Brooks is a kid. He just put him on
he
the
may
street.
have. He did just maybe create. But I have so much respect for LeBron, and if you can I understand he's a threat to Jordan, and that's why people hate him. Really, it's unwarranted.
As a guy on the Jordan bandwagon, if you will, or whatever, if you're a fan of basketball, you have to enjoy and appreciate what LeBron has brought to the game, especially when you think about the durability and the lengthy career that he's had playing at such a high, phenomenal level the entirety of his career. So yes, there's something to be said about that. All of the jokes that we were making, during this season of, look at what the last 3 years, really, look at what GM LeBron has done, you know what I mean? And now it's come full circle, and they're playing, and it's still early in this series against the Warriors, but if last night was any indication, first off, that series is going to be amazing to watch, and you need to catch every single game. And then secondly, they are a much better team than what they were prior to the trade deadline. So yes, don't blame me, or that I think that LeBron is a great candidate for the don't blame me. What about for you, Amanda? Who do you got?
I went NFL, and I have a two-part answer. I have a sports answer and a sports entertainment answer.
Oh.
Sports answer is Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
I think that he's trying to do the same thing, and yes, kind of like LeBron.
You're like OBJ's dad.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's a business guy. He's just doing what's best for him, and he's doing it in an outlandish way, so we get some hate. My sports entertainment answer is Roman Reigns, and there will be no questions.
I like that.
What's his little thing that everyone said? Acknowledge him.
Acknowledge him.
There you go.
Acknowledge that man, dude. I agree with you, Amanda. Roman gets way too much flack. That dude's been.
Dude, he's got huge shoes to fill. Like, you're coming after a Hulk Hogan era, Bret Hart era, John Cena, where you've got to be the guy, and they on a dime. Okay, now you're a heel. Now you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
And have enough people hate you and like you at the same time, and it's a tough gig, and he's pulling it off.
He's embraced it, and he's killed it.
Yep.
I'm also going to go with
Pensacola guy.
Yeah, no doubt. Got to give love to the hometown fellow. For me, I'm going to go with the sports entertainment answer as well, and this one is actually very surprising that I'm the one coming up with this. I'm actually going to go with Jake Paul. Don't blame him for everything that he's done. He's just putting together a phenomenal business plan.
He packaged the whole thing so well.
Exactly. I mean, it's all worked out for him. Like, from the financial standpoint, you can hate it or love it, but the underdogs are on top, man. And there's one of those things that do we or do we not tune into those fights? He lost and he still got buzz with the Nate Diaz and all of that stuff. So it's like, to me, I'm not the biggest fan. I tune in to watch him lose. There's no doubt about that. I don't like how it's all been manipulated, but you can't hate on that, because I would love if I was the fella who came up with
whether you hate the recipe or not, it still tastes good.
And then what his brother's doing over there with WWE, like they're building something over here, and they are going to be cross-promoting these things here shortly.
These guys are famous for making 6-second videos on Vine a couple years ago, back when Vine was a thing, and they've found a way to keep themselves relevant. They're making money. People are always talking about them. Those two are genius.
And they've got a great podcast, or Impulsive anyway. I love Impulsive.
The Kelsey podcast where it's at, though.
What's that?
The Kelsey Brothers podcast.
Yeah, no doubt.
Speaking of which, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes versus Klay Thompson and Steph Curry in the next match. I think June 29th.
That's to me, and me and Ryan were kind of talking about this earlier after the Inside Drive today, which is a great show you can listen to on ESPN Northwest Florida from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But I think, to me, this is one of the more interesting ones because, yeah, it's cool to see a football player, a professional athlete paired up with a pro golfer. But when you got two just pro athletes and their teammates at that, I think that there's so much there. And, putting the professional golfers into these match type aspects does something for the golf fans, but for the fans who are tuning in that aren't really golf fans, that just want to see the pro athletes, they could care less about the pro golfers. They just want to hear the smack talk between the pro athletes. And then what's Charles Barkley going to say to them? What's Phil Mickelson going to say from the broadcast, even though he probably won't be on the broadcast anymore because of the whole lifting, which I think that's janky, man. Let him play. Or let him broadcast. Let him talk his trash, man. That is what Phil Mickelson's good at. And then when you got Phil and Chuck talking, man, that is just, it's a broadcast that you cannot beat. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We have totally hijacked the show today with Taylor Swift.
Oh, my
We're going to
goodness.
take a break, and we're going to figure out what's next. Look at what you made me do, Kyle. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Steph Curry got 50. We act surprised when Steph does this. And I keep wondering, you get to a certain age where you go, okay, they haven't figured you out and they won't figure you out. I laugh and I cringe whenever I see one of these young guys going, when he's getting ready to guard Steph Curry. Don't do that.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Afternoon weather forecast has gone for mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures near 80, and it looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Mostly clear overnight, 55 to 60 for the low with light winds. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny, highs around 80. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullet, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Base hit. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
Tonight, it's another big National League East showdown for the Braves as they take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park.
Coverage starts at 5:40 on your home for the Atlanta Braves. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. We are live and we're local. We're live out here at Dave & Buster's. We're on the patio. It is half-price Wednesday games. It's happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. We've got the half-price cocktails. Oh, and by the way, if you're listening right now, you can hear it is Thunder Beach out here, so make sure that you look twice to save a life.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it is. It is very sweet. We just did 2 segments on Taylor Swift, which was a lot of fun. That was it really was, though.
Still good
it's not like we were sitting there talking about Taylor Swift for 40 minutes.
Nope, that's this segment. So let me start with what she was wearing.
First outfit.
That was the best part, according to Kyle, was the outfit.
Did she swim in this one?
She did. Yeah, she dived off the air. I'm telling you, she dives into the stage, and they have a prep, and she changes outfits between each set, and it's crazy, man. It's an experience,
and it's a see-through changing room. So.
Husbands, buy your tickets.
For your wife.
No,
for
my
your
reputation's
wife.
never been worse.
You know what? I saw a stat last night that said a single ticket to a Taylor Swift concert is more than season tickets to an Alabama college.
Season tickets to Alabama football. Yeah, that is quite interesting. Were your tickets up around $9.80?
No, dude, you know me. Ain't no chance. I can't tell you the last time I had $9.80 in my account. No, I got lucky.
I'm right there with you, brother.
I got lucky on the pre-sale and got them for like $150 a piece.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were one of those people who was like,
I'd definitely go. It's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got them for $150 a piece. I spent 7 hours in the pre-sale queue, but we did it.
Hey,
it was for my wife. Like I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, but it was for my wife at the end of the day.
Because Rachel wasn't a big fan, and then once she went, it's like now we have something else in common.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, this is your local high school sports spotlight, brought to you by Barbaritos, where food, community, and people mean the most. And Drew, why don't you take the high school baseball scores, and Kyle, you can take the high school softball scores.
Bay and South Walton play, and South Walton wins 11-1 in 6 innings. West Florida beats Arnold 3-1. Niceville falls to Mosley 15-5. North Bay Haven is downed by Mariana 7-4. Liberty beats Madison 4-1. Rocky Bayou is beaten by John Paul II 8-3. Ponce de Leon is beaten by Paxton 15-0. Bluntstown falls to Wakula Christian.
Wakula. What's in your cooler? It's just a Wakula.
Buffalo Rock, baby.
There we go.
Good
8-5.
Drew. I'm proud of this guy.
Franklin beats Port St. Joe 9-1, and Weewahitchka is downed by Bozeman 17-1.
Look at those scores, man. Those are some good scores.
There are some big scores, and let's go over to the high school softball side. Chipley misses both extra points as Alpha beats them 14-12. Walton over Bay 14-0. A couple of football scores to open it up there. Ponce de Leon over Freeport 7-5. North Bay Haven over Catholic 15-0. Franklin over Bozeman 8-2. Wackala over South Walton 1-0. Niceville over Leon 10-0. West Florida over Arnold 9-3. Sneds.
It's all right.
Those are your words, not mine. Sneeds over Cottondale 10-2. My hometown of Marianna, Florida, where I reside, 11-1 over Swanee. Liberty over Weewahitchka 6-5. You just can't say Weewahitchka and not sound country.
We will.
Weewahitchka. All right, Holmes over Vernon 14-1, and Northview over Paxton 6-5. Southview did not play.
And we've got some great games tonight. North Bay Haven's going to be hosting Walton. That game at 6 p.m. This is high school softball here. Crestview will have Niceville. Both teams coming in with a record, or Crestview with a record of 12-11, and Niceville is 11-11. Sneeds will be playing Alpha at 6 p.m. Liberty County and Franklin County face off at 7 p.m. Holmes County will take on Ponce de Leon at 7 p.m. And the number 1 overall seed, Mariana, will be taking on FSU High School also at 7 p.m. And in baseball, West Florida will visit the number 1 seed, South Walton, at 6 p.m. Contondale, that's Cottondale, they'll be playing Chipley at 6 p.m. Mariana will be on the road taking on Pensacola Catholic at 6 p.m. Wakulla Christian is going to be playing Liberty County at 6 p.m. Franklin County is going to visit Bozeman at 7 p.m. Holmes County is going to be taking on Paxton at 7, and Mosley visits Leon at 7 p.m. This Braves update is brought to you by The Break Room. If you know Chef Ross, and if you've ever had anything to eat that Chef Ross prepared, you know it's fantastic. Today's special is chicken pot pie. Tomorrow's special is going to be hamburger steak. And Friday is air fried chicken. And this is going to be $12. You also get a drink and a side for just $12. The Break Room over there on, it's in the Old Vic's Sports Bar. The Old Vic's Sports Bar. All right, 850-215.
Ross, you still owe us jalapeno poppers, by the way, if you're listening.
Yeah, you do owe us some jalapeno poppers, no doubt. We got to get back over there for some lunch.
Yeah, we should
one of these days. The Braves beat the Marlins last night 6-0. You had another great outing from Bryce Elder, who now sports an ERA of 1.75. Ronald Acuna Jr. is your National League Player of the Month, who's already swiped 14 bags to this point. Obviously, the rules changing is the biggest factor in all of this, but still, he's only got 5 home runs, right? 5 home runs. He's got 14 stolen bases. But I could very well see him being one of those 40-40 members this year. In fact, I think that we're going to have the most 40-40 members that we've ever had just here in the first year that they've made the bases bigger and all of the rule changes surrounding the pitch clock, the disengagements, all of that good stuff. Tonight, Kyle Wright, not our Kyle Wright, but the Braves' Kyle Wright, is going to be on the bump. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 4.86 in 4 starts. He'll be taking on Braxton Garrett from Foley, Alabama, who is 1-0 with an ERA of 2.45 in 4 starts this year. He's only 24 years old. He was a first round draft pick, and man, that's going to be impressive. Kyle Wright tonight versus Braxton Garrett. Did you say thank you?
Quit tagging me every time Kyle Wright pitches. By the way, I feel like 7 or like every time the guy's on the mound, somebody's tagging me, and it's always somebody different. Quit. It was funny last year when he was good. He's not pitching good right now.
Now you know I'm going to do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm going to start like texting you, be like, I didn't tag you.
You opened yourself up for that.
I did.
No doubt.
Here we go.
Dog, they say you're pitching. Why are you responding to my text message?
Do they allow phones out there?
Oh, wait, what am I doing here?
Bryce Harper went hitless in his return to Major League Baseball.
Does have a hit today.
He does have a hit today. All right, good for him, man. Did you see the little oven mitt that he's wearing? Or not even, it's not an oven mitt, it's a cast, man. That looks very cumbersome for him to be wearing, but got a hit today, and that is good news for the Phillies. Not the greatest of news for the Atlanta Braves or the rest of the National League East. The Yankees dealing with more trouble to this point. New York Yankees right-hander Lou Trevino is going to be undergoing Tommy John surgery that's going to end his season. And then Carlos Rodon, who is now experiencing back discomfort, he started the year out on the injured list due to a forearm strain. Instead of going into do y'all want to do confidence meters so we can get into our division leaders, and on a scale of 1 to 10, we can rate them on how likely it is that they will finish the season as them being the division leader, or I've got some rapid fire. We can talk a little college football.
Do we have any more Taylor Swift?
No more Taylor Swift.
I haven't even started the other 4 eras.
Thinking about it, though, like I used to live in Atlanta, and it would just be so fun to take Kyle in a Braves jersey all over and be like, no, he's Kyle Wright, and have him just show his ID. And I'm like, yo.
He's actually been to a game when Kyle Wright was pitching before.
Yeah.
I would love to be there, too. I'm like, man, if Kyle Wright, the pitcher, started messing up, I'd just start slapping him upside the head like, what are you doing?
When they called his
Come
name
on.
When they gave him his World Series ring, I stuck my hand up in the air and waved at everybody. It was nobody else thought it was funny because they don't know who I am.
To answer your question, I'm here for rapid fire.
You're here for rapid
fires.
All right,
college football has been.
Let's go to rapid fire. Alabama, and I did not make up these questions. I found them on ESPN, so don't give me no Homer Alabama stuff. You guys know me better than
Now,
that.
let me explain the rules of rapid fire.
To Drew?
Drew, this is like a simple answer. It's not a sentence, doesn't need a backstory, no paragraph, just yes or no.
When Bear Bryant was there.
Is any answer for me simple?
That's why I'm prefacing this.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Let's go.
All right, Alabama will return to the college football playoff. Let's play some rapid fire.
Easy money, yes.
True or false?
You can go true or false, or yes or no, or give me a long drawn-out answer. He even said the word slow just to try to get as much right time.
I was just hoping someone would ask, like, why no?
I was trying it now, like answering one word. No.
Kyle, what about for you?
I don't think so either, man. I just think the SEC West is too tough.
All right, I like that. I'm going to say yes at this point, and we'll see how the season plays out. But
who's going to quarterback?
That's going to be the biggest issue. I mean, right now you're thinking, well, more than likely they start out with Jalen Milroe. If that doesn't work out, they go to Ty Simpson, and then they got the Notre Dame transfer, Tyler Buckner or Buckner, yeah.
I just never see them, going into a season without somebody that they've already spent a few years on. We just don't know
about it.
Here's
the thing. The offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, where did he come from?
Notre Dame.
Yeah. So he's been in the offense.
It's...
So I would
still think they make it.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Buckner start, but that would be if Nick Saban gives it the okay, because if not, he's going to go with the guy that he's comfortable, because Tommy Rees isn't coming to install the Notre Dame offense. He's coming to make the Alabama offense into his own, if you will. So for me, how are you? I'm going to say yes, though. I'm going to say yes. How about Colorado will compete in the Pac-12? What?
Year one?
Year one. What does compete mean? Let's say that they got to win half of their Pac-12 games, their conference games. They got to win half of.
No.
Can I say hell no? Is that allowed?
Yeah, you already said it once.
That's why, because I know I can. Yeah, no, absolutely not, and I hope not.
Not year one. Year two.
I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no.
Okay. So for how many years now we've been, the Pac-12 is garbage, the Pac-12 is trash. Now Deion gets in there and all of a sudden they're going to keep Colorado from competing in there?
And I just want him to fail because he keeps on tampering with FSU players.
I feel that. For me, I'm gonna say that they win four more games in the Pac-12 conference this year. Just for the sake of, he's just bringing in talent, man. And yeah, you could talk about all that they've lost in the transfer portal, but we heard the speech whenever he got there. He was telling them, like, you might as well go ahead and hit the door now. Why waste your time at practice? Because I'm bringing in the Louis Vuitton. Is that a great way to do it? No, but it's Deion's way, and it worked for him at Jackson State, so we'll see how it works at Colorado. At this point in time, I'm going to say yes. I think that, I'm not saying that they're going to win the Pac-12. I think it's USC's to lose at this point in time, but I am going to ride with the Buffaloes at this point in time.
To me, I'm saying no just because there are so many eyeballs there. They are going to be the Alabama of the West Coast because they're going to get everybody's best game, and everybody's going to be like, okay, we don't want to be the team that gets knocked off by Deion. We've got to be the team that beats them.
I like that.
I like that take as well.
All right, one more here. The Clemson offense isn't fixed.
I agree.
No, not at all.
So you don't believe in Cade Klubnik?
I believe in him, but they've got to fix the offensive coordinator to be able to allow him to run the ball more and allow the offense to run the ball, because they threw the ball, what was it, like 40, 50 times in the bowl game?
Uyangalele, baby.
Granted, at the end of the game, they needed to throw the ball, but for a lot of that game, you've got to run the ball. It all can't be on the freshman quarterback's shoulders.
I like that. What about for you, Kyle?
Clemson's offense will be fine with Klubnik, and you know who's coming back to run the ball. So they're going to be fine. I think fixed is I'll say fixed, no. Perfected, probably.
So fixed, no,
you
but
can't
it's
fix. They weren't broken.
Fixed, but it's perfected?
They weren't broken.
Okay, they weren't.
They weren't broken. They were underperforming, and DJ Uiagalelei, who couldn't throw a football 30 yards, was their quarterback all year.
Yeah, but when Cade Klubnik was in there, it's not like they were throwing the ball.
He was a true freshman who came on the last 3 games of the year. That's a tough spot for a kid like that to come into.
All right, that's fair. I'm going to say no at this point because there was so much hype on Klubnik that I think that when you put when that hype gets put on you, that pressure is on you, it's really hard to live up to those expectations. When you have a good run game, though, that changes everything. So we'll have to see. For me, I'm going to say no. I think that they're a whole nother season away, but it is Clemson, and they're just like Alabama. And what I mean by that is a 10-2 year for them. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But if you're a Clemson fan and you're going 10-2, maybe you're not the happiest of all. But at the end of the day, I'll take a 10-2 season every single time, because that means only 2 Saturdays in that regular season I was really upset. Outside of that, every other Saturday was a good day. I'll take that as a football fan.
Says the Alabama guy.
You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick time out. When we return, it's going to be hour number 2. And as always, on Wednesdays, we like to play a little Would You Rather.
Suffer from political talk radio fatigue?
We know that under the 49% rate, the U.S. economy
Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Afternoon weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures near 80, and it looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Mostly clear overnight, 55 to 60 for the low with light winds. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny, highs around 80. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hey
folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, Powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida.
At Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, you can find all the necessary items for an unforgettable fishing experience. From pin rods and reels to the best hand-tied rigs in Florida, we have it all. With the help of our friendly and knowledgeable staff, you can be sure that you have the right gear to make that big catch. Come experience a great local bait and tackle shop located directly off 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach, located just 5 miles west of Pier Park.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290.
I'm sure that most of you have used a dial telephone before.
The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. It is hour number 2. We're out here at the patio, Dave and Buster's. We've got happy hour from 4 to 7, and it is half-price games all Wednesday day. I wasn't there spinning
all
the wheel.
Wednesday, but I'm here all night, so come out and see me.
Come out, hang out with Amanda, because we're trying to get her off of our hands right now.
Hey, now.
I just yelled at her, and then you did that?
Yeah, I got yelled at for talking to your dad.
Yeah. Oh, Dad, come on, man. You're not supposed to be a troublemaker your first time on the air with me, man.
Distracted the talent.
Is this the first time? Oh.
I think it is the first time that I've had. No, well, you've been to the old station a couple times. Been here a couple times.
A small segment in the 21.
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
Sounds good. So, yeah. So it was a segment back then. This is his first time kind of being around for the whole show. So
first time out here, definitely.
Yeah, definitely first time out here, Pier Park. So appreciate you coming out, Dad. Would you rather, though? It's time to play a little Would You Rather. Want to remind you guys about the great local shows that we have right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The Coach James Hale Show, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 in the morning. And then following that, you'll get some Dan Patrick. Right after Dan Patrick at 11, we'll kick it off with the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. That show's runs till 1. Then Colin Cowherd from 1 to 3. And then starting at 3, it's Greeny right back here with us at 4, the Afternoon Underdogs. Would you rather have to fight? This is a great question for Miles, by the way. And it is Thunder Beach. If you can't hear, it's Thunder Beach out
Thunder
here.
Beach.
So y'all come hang out at Dave and Buster's. This is a great question for Miles, which also, if you didn't listen to the Jake Finch interview yesterday afternoon, you need to go back to YouTube or to Facebook and listen, because we talked about 2 weeks ago, we talked with Miles about the top 10 things that he could do that professional athletes do. One of the things he said was to drive in a race, particularly a super speedway, and be able to go without getting in a wreck. Yeah. So I asked that question to Jake Finch, who drives for Venturini Motorsports, and he just won the ARCA Menard East Series race up in Dover, Delaware at the Monster Mile, and he had a lot of fun with that question. So you can go check that out on our YouTube or Facebook, ESPN Northwest Florida. This would be a great question for Miles, though, because... Thank you. What I'm talking about, baby. We can barely hear ourselves, but we absolutely hear you. Would you rather have to fight a monkey every time you get in a vehicle, or have to fight a gorilla once a year with prep time?
I'm going to go with the gorilla once a year, because not only do I get prep time, but I get in and out of cars a lot.
You can use weapons in this as well.
So, yeah, absolutely. Give me that gorilla.
I'm going to go with the gorilla as well, because I'm the gopher for my job, so I am always going to the hardware store.
It's like 7 times a day you're having to fight
a monkey. Like, hey, I need you to go up to the hardware store and go get some 2x4s.
You got it, boss.
All right, boss. I just left. All right, but okay. I gotta fight this monkey. real quick. Might be a minute.
What kind of monkey? Is it one of those cute squirrel monkeys?
No, we'll go chimpanzee.
Yeah, then no, I'm taking the gorilla.
Yeah, gorilla all day, dog.
Yeah, I'm taking the gorilla with prep time. If Batman can almost beat Superman with prep time, I really think I can.
Yeah, but if I could look at that monkey and go, Martha,
And he
then we're
said,
good.
Martha. He said weapons.
Why did you say that name?
We'd be all right.
Yeah, he did. I love
Why'd you put on your Batman voice?
I love that.
I guess I'll have to follow up with the same answer. I'd like to be a little different, but I would not want to fight a monkey every time or a
Every
chimpanzee. Yeah, every single
Brian,
time.
like, what's he doing after you start driving? Like, does the monkey, like, hang out in the back seat and wait for you to
Know
start
how
up
to party. Sorry, the music
Can I
in
put
the
the monkey in
background.
the car seat while we're driving? Is he waiting for me to get out and in again?
I do not own the rights to this song. In the city of
What was the question, sir?
Well, you know what I would like to do? I would like to have a taser in the vehicle with me, and every time I just tase the monkey. All right, let's move on here. If you guys can hear us, would you rather KJ Jefferson or Will Levis?
Will Levis.
Will Levis. Absolutely.
KJ Jefferson.
I think I'm going to say Will Levis to this one as well, which is why I put it in there, because it's like, you know, KJ Jefferson has not lived up to the expectations that we put on him every single year. It's like he had that one season 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years, it was 2 years ago, where it was like, man, this guy's got something going. Look at Arkansas. Look at Sam Pittman. And then the next year, it's like, well, what's going on? And he's coming back for this year. So for me, I'm going to ride with Will Levis in that one.
Good choice.
Let's go. Would you rather be a blue blood or a new program in college football in this day and age with the NIL and the transfer portal? Would you rather be a blue blood program or a new program in college football?
You know, going into the NIL thing, I think the easy answer was blue blood, but you really don't see the teams like Alabama and Georgia dominating in NIL. Obviously you have Bryce Young.
They're smart. They keep it behind the scenes.
Right,
Their trades are still.
And maybe that's the thing. But you got teams like Colorado who are, for obvious reasons, but they're able to pull teams or pull players out there, and they've got a lot of hype going in, and they'll probably done more for their program. So I think that would be the good answer there. I think a new program would be.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say blue bloods because, yes, they're not pulling the NIL players, but what are they doing? Still winning championships, still winning ball games. What's Colorado done? Hired Dion. Yet to be seen. So
end of list.
To me, give me the blue blood.
I don't know. I think for me, like when it's blue blood, right, you're following the past traditions and all of that stuff. When you start a new program, everything in a sense is your own. You're building it from scratch, and you're doing things the way that you want it to be done, and you're leaving a legacy. Even though you can leave a legacy with a blue blood program, there's no doubt about that. But the chances are higher if you're with a new program to leave a legacy because they don't even have a record or a great record. Coastal Carolina, they've had a couple seasons, but you could build on that. You know what I mean? There's teams out there like that. So for me, I would go with new program because I think it would be a little bit more fun and more autonomy, if you will, whereas with a blue blood program, you've got to follow the regiment that's kind of been put before you.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go camp in a tent or an RV, a recreational vehicle.
Tent. I don't do glamping. I do camping.
Oh, okay. What about for you, Kyle?
You're not camping if you're in an RV.
Right.
And that's just my opinion, at least.
That's an opinion.
RV. I've always had a dream of driving an RV cross country.
Me too,
That's
bro.
so
Camping.
much fun.
You're driving.
What if you have a tent inside the RV?
That's where you sleep.
Exactly.
That's just wasting money right there.
Why is it?
Because you bought an RV, but you're going to stay outside where you got...
No, you're just going to sleep outside.
You're going to sleep outside,
You
but
don't get the same experience camping.
There are RVs these days that have 2 king-size beds inside the RV, which is absolutely insane.
The only thing I want from an RV is TVs on the outside. So I'm going to be in my tent on the outside watching the TVs on the outside of my RV.
Outside of the RV,
I might
like
cook
patio
inside.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Exactly.
See, I need the campfire.
But what if
it
starts raining? What if it starts raining?
Then you have a tent over you.
Then you have broken TVs. But you get waterproof or something.
Normally they have the awning, but I'm talking about whenever you're sleeping outside and you're sleeping in the tent. What happens when it rains?
Tent?
Yes.
Did it ever rain?
Yes.
Okay, then you
Did
don't
I get wet?
wet.
Yes, I got wet.
In the tent?
Yes.
Yeah,
or
yours
is that
a bad tent.
Did you have something
tent.
on zip?
It was a bad tent.
Did you put the mesh thing? Yeah, just get a good tent, and you're good. They're waterproof.
Which Drew were we getting at this point in time?
I was a kid.
Inebriated.
Oh, okay. Hey, Buzz Drew is a very fun Drew to be around. Every Drew is a fun Drew to be around. But this one's from Professor Plum. He says, would you rather lose 3 Super Bowls but be in the Hall of Fame, or win a Super Bowl with a career game performance but not be in the Hall of Fame? AKA, or a la Doug Williams is the second part of that. The first part would be essentially Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly, yeah.
I'd rather be in the Hall of Fame.
You'd rather be in the Hall of Fame?
Make it to 3 games and not win, but be in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's that personal, yep, I did it. I'm still great even without the ring. Everyone agrees with this.
I want the Super Bowl.
I want the bowl.
I want the Super
But
Bowl.
you have the ring, but then nobody agrees that you are one of the greatest of all time. I'd rather be one of the greatest.
But one of the greatest, not the greatest, right?
Yeah, you're only the greatest on your team for that season, and then they forget about you and
I
move
want
on.
the chip. If I'm a competitor, I want to go there and I want to win.
Yeah,
I want the chip.
I want to win, but this is would you rather. I wanted to win, I didn't.
I would rather win.
I will just say this. Do you think that we will remember more for the rest of our lives, because we've lived through this era, Matt Ryan? Maybe Matt Ryan's different because of the 28-3 thing.
Yeah, there's famous and infamous.
So let's go with another big court. Let's go with Joe Burrow right now. At this point in their careers, right? If Joe Burrow were to retire tomorrow, do you think that we would remember Joe Burrow, who never won a Super Bowl,
but had a career performance at the Super Bowl,
or Nick Foles, who
won a Super Bowl?
Won a Super Bowl as in the Super Bowl MVP?
That's what I'm saying. I think we remember Joe Burrow.
I think that Nick Foles performance to me will always stand in my head.
If you weren't watching, if you were a young kid in 2017, then you're never going to even think about that. Whereas Joe Burrow,
that's why I went recent memory because I didn't use like Dan Marino.
But you're not going to forget about Joe Burrow either, though.
Especially for what he did in college.
But if he doesn't win a Super Bowl,
what he did in college too. He won a national championship.
Who cares about college? Nobody cares about college.
We all love college.
The South cares about college. The South cares about college.
You say for this particular conversation, I'm assuming? Okay.
Okay, then Jameis
I'm
too,
just
then, right?
excited that he proved my point. Joe Burrow is who you'd remember.
Jameis as well.
No.
Jameis or Marcus Mariota, which one of those guys will be remembered longer?
Jameis, because he won.
Mariota.
He won the national title. Because they both won the Heisman.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like it doesn't matter if you draft a Heisman winning quarterback.
A quarterback who went and lost, or a quarterback who went and won. Let's go Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
Or who was the one that you said that won?
We got Steve McNair.
Nick Foles. Rex Grossman or Nick Foles?
You always remember Nick Foles because he won.
I will remember Rex Grossman.
Nick Foles because
even though he didn't win.
That one's kind of tough for me. I think it's Nick Foles, and not just that. I think it's the Philly special for me that I'll remember from Nick Foles.
Philly, baby.
And the nickname.
Right. He had the greatest nickname of all football players ever.
Is that a fact?
Because he's fat, right? They called him Big Rolls Foles.
Big Rolls.
Yeah, that was it, right?
Something along those lines there. Professor Plum, thank you so much for the question there. Would you rather have the best farm system or the team with the best analytics? So let's go. Who's got the best farm system right now?
Say the Reds. I mean, it's probably not the best, but it's top 3.
All right, one of the top 3, and then we could say maybe with an argument, but I would say the Rays have the best analytics. Possibly.
Yeah, give me the Rays.
Give you the Rays? You'd rather have the Rays than the farm system?
Because with the farm, you have a team full of maybes.
Yeah.
That one's tough.
I like that. You got a team full of maybes. Give me the analytics because they're going to go out and get who they want to fit those positions, to fit their style, and go from there.
I wish I would have chose the Rays. I wish I would have disbanded for my dad.
I'm taking the farm system because, you're never just living in the moment. You're always looking for the future. And if you don't have a good farm system and you're just living for the team you have right now,
I think I'd rather drive a Kia Optima than a bike.
Taylor Swift.
Don't you just back after this?
But yeah,
we're not taking a break. I was just saying.
Don't you just love when there's 5 bikers that roll by and they're all playing different songs?
Yeah.
You guys could get in the same era. That's great.
Would you rather 8 weeks of spring break or 2 weeks of bike week?
8 weeks of
2
spring
weeks of
break.
bike week.
8 weeks of spring break.
8 weeks of spring break
2 weeks
easily.
of bike week, because as being the restaurant person here, they are so well mannered. They take care of our team so
This is
well.
also
They
true.
act differently.
I
will
that.
take 2 weeks of bikers over 8 weeks of spring break.
I can
Well,
as
I'll take
a
them both
restaurant
because it's great
employee,
for Bay County.
It is.
as a restaurant employee without the assets on the front of my body,
Now we're just getting into it.
I'm just saying,
disgusting.
they treat men like garbage, and I can't stand bikers.
Definitely not
So-
my men. The bikers here are great. Come on down to
Go
Dave.
on down!
My bikers are excellent.
Stay away from 30A.
Dad, you look like you had something to say about the best farm system or the best analytics.
I was going to say, to me, there's one team that encompasses both, and you named it. The Rays,
Yep.
fabulous analytics. But, dude, I'm sorry. They don't trade for the expanse of their roster. They farm them.
Yeah.
They grow their players.
Then they harvest
and they get
them.
that cash. They grow their players, and they get that. So I think Rays cover both ends.
Yep, that's a great point. I think if it's me, I'm going to
I
go.
agree.
His bike does
He
work, by
agrees.
the way, because anyone who's curious, it runs.
It's
Yeah.
revving. It is revving.
For me,
RPMs are good.
I'm going to go right along the lines with Amanda there, and I'm going to say the farm system. I like you guys' answer as well. With the analytics,
But he
you're going
likes
to
mine
fit.
better.
You're going to take the players and put them in the correct position that you need based on the analytics. However, I think when you go so heavy in those analytics, you forget about the game, and you're just playing the numbers. And how many times? What was the percentage of Will Levis to get out of the first round to still be available in the second round? Like 0.1% or something like that.
We got
Which
it, baby.
means that I know Wayne said numbers don't lie, all of that good stuff, but at the same time, they don't tell the whole truth. When you get into analytics and you get into someone who's got a good feel for the game, I think that's when you got the best of both worlds. So for me, I would go with the best farm system.
That's like analytics, I guess. Anyone that plays like poker, how much the stats are against you. One card changes you from 90% to 0.
Yeah.
One.
Having quad aces and then the river comes, or you have 3 aces, the river comes, it's an ace of diamonds, you throw out your quad aces there, and then next thing you know, the other guy just turned over a full house, a royal flush, and how does that look? You know what I mean? Or how does that work out for you? You feel like you had a great hand all the way up until...
And you did.
Yeah, and you did. You did. You had the second best hand in all of poker. So, yeah, that's definitely a fun question there. Would you rather see LeBron or Steph Curry win their 5th ring?
Steph Curry.
LeBron.
His kid is cuter. He's nicer. Steph Curry.
Nicer? Nicer?
It is nicer.
His kid is cuter, and he is nicer.
Oh, okay.
Bronny's kind of cute, dude.
But I said his kid is cute.
How is Steph Curry nicer than LeBron?
Look, I mean, LeBron gets all the hate he deserves. I said it earlier. There are things I can't say on the radio, but LeBron is just. If you had to say, hey, would you rather go to dinner with LeBron and ask him questions or Steph Curry? I think Steph Curry would be way more hospitable.
That would be tough for me because honestly, talking to either one of those would be mind blowing. But I was talking with my dad the other day,
But
and
one of them would have less arrogance, so I'm going with Steph Curry.
when we lived in Charlotte, I think we went to 3 of the games, and Steph Curry was probably in the building because his dad Dale was there. So I think it would be interesting to talk about that. And then also, I think any professional athlete who grew up around their dad who was a professional athlete, some of those stories would be very interesting. But from the side of LeBron, it's like, man, you could just get into, you came straight out of high school. Do you think, how do you feel about players? Should they be able to do that now? What percent chance do you think you'll actually play
I'd be
with
asking
Bronny?
different questions like, hey, did you think Space Jam 2 is a good idea? Because we didn't.
And that would be the end of your interview. That would be the end of the interview. I don't know who drops the mic at that point. Would it be Amanda or would it be LeBron? But I don't think it would be the greatest in the world. Let's see here. One more. Would you rather be overpacked? You can attest to this because you just got done with vacation. Would you rather be overpacked or underpacked for a vacation or trip?
Wow.
That is Baby Shark, ladies and
gentlemen. Rolling through. Geez, that's tough, man. I feel like as a man, I think underpacked would be my answer, just because I can make a lot out of a little. So.
Yeah.
I'm overpacked because that's just me being me. I'm always, as we talked about at the ballpark on Monday, I have literally everything in my truck, everything in my bags, always. Like my bat bag for the softball weekends has a chair on it. I have red Solo cups for if the park doesn't allow Buffalo Rock adult beverages, stuff like that. So I'm always prepared for stuff. So I'm always overpacked as it is.
Pepsi Plus, dude? Is that what it's called?
Pepsi Plus. Oh, man, we're creating drinks out here.
Someone at Buffalo Rock is like, good ideas.
You're welcome. Keep them coming.
I'm here for it.
I would rather be overpacked. Underpacked means you might have to wear something twice, and if you travel with a whole bunch of tiny human boys or adult-sized boys, you can't do that. So overpacked it is.
Yeah, for me, I think I always incidentally or accidentally overpack, and I end up just wearing the same thing the whole vacation pretty much. But
at least you have options.
Exactly. Yeah, at least I got the options. The only thing I'm worried about is what jersey I'm wearing to the ballpark in the city that we're going to. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick time out. When we return, it is going to be time for some more sports talk. We'll be right back after this.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Essentially, as a pharmacy manager at the Walmart on Front Beach Road last year, and as most of you locals can remember what happened. So I was working there at about 6:30 when the Walmart flash mob occurred. So this was my last day at Walmart.
Yeah. 4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Afternoon weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures near 80, and it looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Mostly clear overnight, 55 to 60 for the low with light winds. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny, highs around 80. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Here at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we want to help you celebrate Mom this month. From mother's rings with her children's birthstones to unique one-of-a-kind pieces just like her. This month is meant to celebrate Mom. From our large selection of beautiful stackable bands to simple, elegant diamond necklaces that will bring a sparkle to her eye. This Mother's Day, show Mom how much you love her with a beautiful piece of jewelry that's as unique as she is. From Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Base hit. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
Tonight, it's another big National League East showdown for the Braves as they take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park.
Coverage starts at 5:40 on your home for the Atlanta Braves. ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
It is a walk-off home run for Sean Murphy into the Braves bullpen.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdog.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are live. It's our final segment of the day. The Atlanta Braves will be following the Afternoon Underdogs. Again, we've got Kyle Wright going up against Braxton Garrett tonight. That should be a great one. Last night, Joe, man, we have not talked about any games. I normally start off the show with About Last Night. That's the segment that I call it. And we talked about the games last night, so we do got to show a little love to the Seattle Kraken and Yanni Gourde getting that overtime winner last night. Go ahead.
I just heard Kyle Wright's pitching for the Braves. I need to text Kyle.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I get your number?
I
had my microphone up. Oops, my bad.
Like the Seattle fan bases, though, like props. Seahawks, Kraken, they're
they just need a basketball
MLS
team now.
Like it doesn't matter. that whole city shows up.
Bring the Sonics back.
Yeah, so Yanni and Joe Pavelski for the Dallas Stars, 38 years old, had 4 goals last night, and the Kraken get it done in overtime. The Florida Panthers took down the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2. The Heat took a loss last night to the Knicks. Now that series tied at 1. Jimmy Butler and that ankle, hopefully that gets a little bit better.
I will say I've tried to become less of a fan that talks about stuff like this, but I thought that there were 2 really bad calls at the end of that Heat game that really kind of set things on fire for the Knicks. That gave them a lot of momentum. If you watch the game, you know the 2 I'm talking about. There was one where they said the dude was in the act of shooting when there was a foul away from the shot, and he definitely wasn't. That gave the Knicks a 4-point swing there. And then Caleb Martin threw up a ball that hit the rim, and they said it didn't. That cost us another 2 points because Gabe Vincent got the rebound and put up a layup. But they called it a shot clock violation, and they ended up coming back down and hitting a 3. So that ended up being a 5-point swing in favor of the Knicks as well. So you're talking about 9 points on 2 plays that the Knicks got, and they only won by 5 points without us having Jimmy Butler. I'm pretty confident moving forward.
Yeah, and Jalen Brunson had a big night as well. And then over on the west side of things, Anthony Davis and LeBron James with a big time win. Way to steal one there in Golden State. Game. What a game it was. Might have been the best. Actually, I'll say it, bar none, no problem at all. The best basketball game that I've watched this year.
Yep.
As far as back and forth goes, and then the Warriors kind of cutting that lead, and then Jordan Poole just throwing up a shot out of nowhere, which all the Warriors forgave him for, but still like, man, what are you doing there? You're not Steph Curry. I know that you want to be, but Anthony Davis, big night, 30 points, 23 rebounds. LeBron, 1 of 8 shooting from 3, but still had 22 points and 11 rebounds to go with that. And the Warriors were 21 of 53 from 3-point and still take the loss. So the Lakers win that one 117-112. Tonight, you've got the 76ers at the Celtics, and the Celtics 7.5-point favorite. Joel Embiid is back tonight, the NBA MVP, and the record without Joel Embiid to this point, 12-5. But the teams that they were playing when Embiid wasn't in weren't the greatest out. They did have that April 4th matchup against the Boston Celtics. Who do you like tonight, 76ers or the Celtics?
I like the Celtics to even it back up tonight. I just think maybe the hype is just a little bit too much behind Embiid. Maybe it's an emotional kind of thing. I don't think they'll be able to rebound. And it's a must-win for Boston because you can't be down 2-0 going back to Philly.
Philly, for me, I mean, you lost with the Celtics losing to Philly without Embiid, without the MVP of the league. That's big. So to me, I mean, it's Philly's series to lose at this point, and I like them big in this game tonight.
I like Boston tonight to even up the series. And Kyle, I know that you weren't the happiest camper in the world when it came to Joel Embiid winning the MVP last night. Do you think he deserved it?
I mean, deserved it, absolutely. I just don't think he was the best choice for it. And I feel like when I talk about this that people think I'm trashing Embiid, and I think he's an incredible player. I thought he probably should have won it last year. However, I think that's exactly why he won it this year, is because they kind of snubbed him last year. He didn't have a great season. He had a great season, but he didn't have a better season than Jokic this year. Jokic went off. Jokic won the MVP last year, and he had a better season. It's voter fatigue. It has nothing more to do with voter fatigue. Whoever they played, they were 12-5 without Joel Embiid on the court this year, which does not scream MVP to me. You take Jokic off the Nuggets, and I guarantee you they're not playing tonight. At this point,
that's what does it for me, is that if you take Nikola Jokic off of the Nuggets, that they're not the team that they are with him. You take Embiid off of the 76ers, you still have Tyrese Maxey, you still have James Harden over there, so maybe you can make things happen, but it's nice to have a Joel Embiid. For me, I think voter fatigue was absolutely there. However, I'm not surprised that Embiid won, especially when he's back-to-back scoring champ winners. Yeah. And the last time that you've had big men go back-to-back winning the scoring title was Shaq. Then before that, it was Kareem, and then before that, it was Wilt Chamberlain. So that's very rare company there. So I can see them rewarding him for that, even though when you look at some of the statistics and you look at everything, not just the points scored, a lot of it does favor, especially when you get into rebounds and even assists. 400 more assists Jokic had than what Embiid did. So when you talk about the totality of the game, I would go with Nikola Jokic and how much he means to the Denver Nuggets.
And I mean, what's really more impressive impressive being able to drag your team up to a 1 seed in the West or a 3 seed in the East. It's also that, right? And it's all. I think a lot of it also had to do with Nikola Jokic would have been the first center in NBA history to win 3 MVPs. And unfortunately, I think that they looked at it like that and they said that would be us acknowledging that this guy at least has a mention to be the greatest center of all time, and he doesn't have a championship. And also, I think that voter fatigue was the biggest thing, and it shouldn't be allowed to be a thing, but it is. LeBron should have at least three more MVPs.
A couple.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sad to see that happen because if you're the best, you should be the best. But it is what it is. Congratulations to Joel Embiid, and enjoy losing to the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, we can talk about some of these other headlines and pieces of news. Jackson Mahomes, the brother of Patrick Mahomes.
Saw that.
Yeah, arrested on sexual battery charges. He's been booked into the Johnson County Detention Center on a $100,000 bond. The arrest stemmed from a woman's accusation that Mahomes assaulted her in February. So we'll see how all of that plays out. The one thing that I'll say about this, right, and I'm not normally the person to do this or say this or whatever, but I've seen a lot of clapping and all of that stuff, which we don't know the details of this case. He might have been, guilty of this, and we'll find out in the trial, but people, that's not why people are applauding this. They were annoyed with Jackson Mahomes, and so now it's like, oh, look at you. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that I don't like about it, because if you ever find yourself in that position and then when people start laughing at you, you ain't going to like it. So maybe, think sometimes about the golden rule and treat others how you yourself would like to be treated. But that's enough of this message today. We'll get back to that next Sunday. AB forgets to pay his coaches. So Antonio Brown, y'all, is now an owner. I don't know how much longer this is going to last. He owns an arena football team called the Albany Empire. He was like a minority owner starting in March. Then in April, him and his dad touched down Eddie Brown, who is a big-time name in not only, I think, arena football and also the XFL, right? Yeah, because we've had an interview with him before. So he owns the Albany Empire, and the players have not been paid since April 21st. I don't know if any of y'all have seen that video that was circulating around social media where he was standing on the field. He had a crazy-looking suit on. He's signing autographs and all of that stuff. And then one of the security guards is like, all right, man, it's time to go. And AB's like, I own this team, man. Like, this is my field or whatever. So there was this big ordeal between one of the security guards and Antonio Brown. It's wild the way that Antonio Brown continues to make headlines. He's a Baltimore Raven, and the Ravens haven't even signed him. So how about that?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, wait a minute, did they really? And I'm looking into it, and I was like, yeah, he's just a baby.
I thought it was like April Fool's Day or something, man. It was weird.
No doubt about it. Trevor Bauer.
AB.
Yeah. Trevor Bauer made his debut in the Nippon League the Pro Nippon League over there in Japan. I couldn't find the actual stats from the game last night. I didn't look that hard for them either, but he did have a go-ahead sacrifice bunt last night because in the Nippon League, the pitcher still hit, baby, and that is the way baseball is supposed to be played. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, I would love to watch Hunter Green go 0.5. Ozuna goes 111. Why not let Max Fried hit?
Absolutely. A couple of the other games tonight in the world of the NHL. Devils and the Hurricanes. Carolina hosting. This should be a good series. Very similar colorways as well. Who do you like tonight in game one, and who do you like in the series, Kyle?
I'm going to take Carolina tonight. They're at home, right?
Yes.
So it's in Raleigh. And I think the winner of this is winning the East, by the way.
I like Florida for some reason, man.
Yeah, they are hot this year, and they're kind of angry about last year's President Cup thing. Maybe they're going to replicate what the Lightning did, right? When the President's Cup gets swept out of the playoffs and then come back, and I don't know. But I like the winner of this, but I am going to say I think it's finally time for Carolina to get over that second-round hump.
What about for you, Drew?
Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah,
I don't know what the question was. I could not hear a thing.
Yeah,
we were jamming.
It was tough for a second.
Oilers at the Golden Knights tonight. I'm going to go with Edmonton's the favorite, minus 115. Got about 4 minutes here. Edmonton's the favorite tonight, but I think Vegas gets it done at the house.
I
I think Vegas being at home definitely bodes well for them. And, I mean, everybody plays better at home. So, give me Vegas.
Except for last night where both the road teams,
You
got to figure it out.
Home ice has not been nice this postseason so far, but I will take Vegas as well.
All right, man. That should be some good stuff. Great games. But make sure you're tuned in right here to ESPN Northwest Florida, because we're going to have the Atlanta Braves taking on the Miami Marlins tonight. Can't wait for it. Drew, what's been going on with your Houston Astros lately here?
We've been losing ball games.
Yeah.
Not very well. Not very good ball being played by the Astros here recently. But, I mean, we lost two or three to the Rays, and just
2 or 3 to the Rays. Speaking of the Rays, man, they're playing a series right now with the Pirates. It couldn't come at a better time, because later on in the season, like we said earlier when we started off the show, the Pirates could absolutely slip out of first place and find themselves even at the bottom of the National League Central. There's no doubt about that. But while they're playing hot, it is fun that they're playing the Tampa Bay Rays right now, and the Rays, who handed them a loss last night. So now the Braves and the Pirates are tied atop the National League with the best record at 20-10.
We're sitting there, can't beat the Giants at the Giants right now. Lost today to them 4-2 right now. So we got one more game against them, I believe, and hopefully we can steal one game from them, because we've lost back-to-back.
Jeez. Yeah, we're about to drop 2 or 3 to San Diego. I think the Reds are in a bit of a, like, what do we do now kind of situation. They've got some really good talent down in AAA. We have no power in the lineup. Our lead home run guy has 3 home runs, and he hasn't played in a month. So, and it's Jason Vosler, who is currently warming the bench in AAA for us right now. So we have no power in the lineup, but we have dudes that are hitting home runs every night down in AAA that, in my opinion at least, are ready to make the call. And in an era of baseball where we've seen more and more AAA guys getting called up sooner and sooner and sooner, I don't know what the Reds are doing. They're not out of it, but they're putting themselves in a situation where they're going to be very soon.
And I will say for the Astros, I did get a notification yesterday that Jose Altuve is finally resuming activities.
Baseball activities.
So he's getting back to doing things back from the injury during the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, fracturing that thumb. That was definitely a big issue in the World Baseball Classic. That is going to do it for the Afternoon Underdogs. You can hear us weekdays, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in Panama City, 102.1 in Mariana, and 101.9 in the Forgotten Coast. We'll be back out here at Dave and Buster's next Wednesday, 4 o'clock. Y'all come hang out with us. We still have half-price games for the remainder of Wednesday afternoon, and you've got about an hour and 23 minutes left of happy hour. The Coach James Hale Show is going to be live at 7 in the morning. The Inside Drive will be riding from 11 to 1 tomorrow, and the Afternoon Underdogs will be back at 4 p.m. tomorrow. For Amanda Muller, Drew Gorman, Kyle Wright, David Hayes Sr., I'm David Hayes. We're the Afternoon Underdogs.
Woo!
Weather in Northwest Florida can change on a dime.
Gale force winds bombarded with heavy rain.
That's why 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the most up-to-date forecast on the Gulf Coast. Hi, this is staff meteorologist Tim Root with over 40 years of experience. I know just how fast we can go from sun and fun to a serious situation. For the most accurate and detailed weather when it matters, rely on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Afternoon weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures near 80, and it looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Mostly clear overnight, 55 to 60 for the low with light winds. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny, highs around 80. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber.